Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's the Workers' Speech. You can call us, and we like it when you do. 972-647-1893. I'm here with the very beautiful
Bonnie Mathias. Good morning.
From CWA 6215. Yeah. Is that the best union in the world, or just one of them?
It's just one of the unions in the world. You know, we have the AFL, which is AFL-CIO is kind of the umbrella organization of all unions.
It's a federation. It's not actually a union.
Right. And many unions, most unions, belong to the AFL-CIO.
Yeah, and we wish all of them did.
Yes, we do.
Because we need to assimilate ourselves. We need agrupemos, as they say in Spanish. We need to group together to be more effective.
Absolutely.
One of the things I'm urging everyone to do, for heaven's sake, eat your black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. It means, this is one superstition you just can't afford to overlook. 2014 is going to be a pivotal year, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think there's going to be some magnificent opportunities, and we're going to blow it just because you didn't eat your peas, unless you eat your black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. Do you always do that, Bonnie?
You know, I didn't, because John doesn't like black-eyed peas, but I think this year we're just going to have to bite the bullet.
You have to bite the bullet and do it. State Representative Roberto Alonso didn't like black-eyed peas either. He came over to my house. This was years ago, and he was serving his first term, I think. Well, it was really his first term back in office, because he had been in office before. And we were sweating whether or not he was going to have an opponent. And he said, he didn't like black-eyed peas. And I said, you can't really afford to not do this. So he took a couple of bites, and sure enough, he didn't get an opponent. In fact, I don't think he's had an opponent since then.
Wow.
And I'm sure he eats his black-eyed peas.
Yep, I bet he does.
That's how it works, folks.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't eat their black-eyed peas, and what do we get? George Bush.
Oh, God.
So you can't.
Okay, so we do not want the buddy Abbott, okay? We do not want Governor Abbott, so we really need to all eat our black-eyed peas to make sure that we have Governor Davis and not Governor Abbott. That is my opinion.
Okay, you're allowed to have an opinion.
I am allowed to have an opinion.
972-647-1893, brothers and sisters. If you have an opinion, you want to call in, we like it when you do. 972-647-1893. As Reverend Barnett was leaving, he asked me, when's the next Walmart action, and I don't know. Do you know, Bonnie?
No, sir, I don't.
Because they had to postpone the one from last week.
Right, because it was
of the snow,
pouring down rain. Yeah.
So anybody knows, call us at 972-647-1893. Bonnie and I will be there. We just don't know when it is.
I will do my best. I
have some predictions for 2014.
Are they good predictions?
These are my predictions.
Oh, okay.
They're the best I could come up with.
Okay.
Through our extensive staff over at my house, and collaboration among hundreds of scientific observers, and having done regression analysis with all of the statistics that are available, these are my predictions for 2014.
Okay.
First of all, the bosses are always the best organizers, and the bosses in 2013 did such a fabulous job of motivating everybody to get organized. That in 2014 we're going to see some great organizing happen. We're going to see solidarity will be the absolute watchword for 2014. Now, most people don't know the word sectarianism. Sectarianism is an error in politics that comes from believing that you're a sect, believing that you're a religious group that has a pipeline to God. That's why there are so many different religious denominations, because each of them thinks they have the correct answer, the correct interpretation, of the work of their particular deity.
So everybody has their own pipeline, I guess.
So they have their own sect.
Gotcha.
Well, sectarianism is also very, very true in politics, and it causes people to be very divided, to think, we're the ones that have the right answer, everybody else should be following us. And that keeps us divided and easily ruled. But we're going to be getting over that in 2014, particularly because, this is our scientific analysis bases this, particularly because of the changes in the AFL-CIO. At the last convention of the AFL-CIO, they said they're going to organize everybody, and they're going to make it possible for all community organizations to be joining, and they're going to really kick up the constituency groups, the labor groups for African Americans, for Latino Americans, for gays, LGBT,
young people,
and particularly youth.
Yeah.
And Dallas is already doing this. They've already got Cooper Caraway,
who's awesome,
to head. I think they call it the Young Workers Council.
Yeah.
And they've already done some stuff. I don't know if you noticed at the meet and greet that they had for candidates last week. The young people were the ones that took the door.
Yeah.
And I was really, really impressed, because the first thing you see when you walk in is these two absolutely beautiful young college students.
We're not used to seeing young people in the labor movement, so it was very refreshing.
Yeah, the labor movement's getting a little gray.
Yeah.
But these are beautiful young people, and so this is really working. Mark's on line 4. Let's see what he's got to say. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning. Yeah, I wanted to agree with you all. I think Lenny Davis would make a good gubernatorial candidate for governor of the state of Texas. I just wanted to, put in that idea. And I'm just one person, but I think some people might agree with me. Greg Abbott's, he's bound to a wheelchair. I'm not saying that's gonna, change my opinion. I might even vote for Gray over Lindsay, but I'm not sure. Anyway,
people can't
I'm still thinking about both. I'm still thinking about both of them. They're in my prayers and thoughts.
Got plenty of time to make up your mind, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I got enough time for sure.
Won't be till November. And I should point out too that the KNON has no position on any election.
Any position on the election? Okay.
Yeah, KNON has no position on any of these elections, and if we slip up and say that we like this or that candidate, it's just us.
Personal opinion.
You just have to put up with us.
Yeah, it's daily. It changes. Mine does. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, it's a free land. Okay.
Thanks so much for calling, Mark.
Thank you.
And you can also call KNON at 972-647-1893. Okay, solidarity is going to be the watchword. You agree with me, Bonnie, or do you think not?
Oh, no, I think absolutely. I see so many organizations getting involved with each other. The whole around the Affordable Care Act, Texas Organizing Project, and Planned Parenthood, and
what about the Walmart action, which is drawing more and more community and union support?
Sure is. We've had a lot of the delegates to AFL-CIO from UAW, UFCW. Some Teamsters have showed up. Now, they're not part of AFL-CIO, but we certainly want them to be. But they've been involved in the Walmart actions as well.
Right.
Texas Organizing Project. I'm trying to think.
Community activists as well as union activists.
Yes.
And they're not all people that work at Walmart.
No.
The people that work at Walmart are the bedrock of the whole thing. But,
right.
But there's becoming more and more groups working together in common cause, and I think that's one of the reasons why there'll be more solidarity. Another example you pointed out is the Affordable Care Act, that a lot of people are working on that. United Campaigns, in the analysis of my team of scientists, United Campaigns will be the watchword, and that's what's going to be happening in 2014. And that will grow toward a more union culture and better information. I happen to be the communications director, or the press secretary for the Dallas AFL-CIO, and so, I've done what I could. And we've got better than a lot of central labor councils have, but we can do so much more with it. And we're going to convene a committee that will be this month, around the middle of the month, January 14th or 15th, somewhere in there. And I think there are 6 members already. We'll probably have more. And the communications committee is going to take up. We're going to go a lot further than just having a weekly newsletter.
Good.
Let's see what Imani has to say, see if he agrees or disagrees. 972-647-1893. What do you think about 2014, Imani?
I know what? I don't have to work for Walmart. And, good morning.
Good morning.
And if I don't see you guys for New Year's, Bonnie and Jean, I want to wish you a very blessed New Year's.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
And we appreciate you, KNON, you, yourself, the doc, because this is the only opportunity that the little guy gets to speak of. And I went to everywhere I've been going, ever since that young lady was on the show about Walmart. I have felt so guilty because we had a Walmart that that got my approval, got our approval, and over there on it's on Clark Road and Daniel Wheatland Road in Dallas, but it's over there by Duncanville. I was the last speaker on the agenda at City Council, and I'm so ashamed of myself because after looking this holiday at those faces of the people that work in Walmart and how they work those people, and for a country that I fought for in the war, I feel so ashamed. So I'm going to, whatever you guys get out there, when are you guys going to meet? I need to be there, and we need to get to doing something.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks so much, Imani. Those are wise words.
Keep them out on the air. Keep your love so where you're going to be.
You betcha.
Well, we were talking about communications, and that's part of what we do. Bonnie and I do this program.
Yep.
We don't get paid for this. We come in and do it because we want working people's point of view to be spread. Now, there's already a monthly meeting of union people and community activists. It's on the second Wednesday, and it occurs at 7 o'clock at Bonnie's Union Hall, 1408 North Washington. This, I believe, and my team of scientists believe, will become even bigger, and it will start to include a cultural section, like 10-minute, 15-minute section, where we'll look at perhaps working people's history or working people's view of something else, and we're going to put that on YouTube as we do it. It may be a presentation. For example, some of the presentations we've had here on KNON. One time, for example, we had Lucy Parsons come on. Another time we had Ella Mae Wiggins. These are historical characters.
Right.
And we had actresses come on and do them. And we can get that on YouTube, and we can get that as part of those monthly meetings. Then there's the Labor Fest. We already have the last year of Jim McCaslin's, while he was heading up the Dallas Central Labor Council, he instituted the annual Labor Fest, which was, we had already kind of experimented around with it with Job with Justice. And that will be probably late April, and I believe it's going to be bigger than, way bigger than ever. Cool. And I'll tell you why, because the young people are getting into it. They're capable of putting on so much more stuff than the rest of us would think about. Let's go to line 3, and James. Good morning. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah.
I need to make a comment on Walmart.
Yes, sir.
If people don't leave Walmart alone, Walmart closed down all these stores, all these people be out of jobs, man. Walmart ain't doing nothing wrong. If people got them a job, they'll appreciate it. A lot of people don't have no job.
So you think Walmart creates jobs?
Yeah. They sure do. And don't be Walmart, there will be a whole lot of people out of job. And the people trying to boycott Walmart, they got a job. They can pay their bills.
Yeah.
Some people be boycotting Walmart, they can't pay their bills, man. People don't leave people alone. That lady got more money than they ever see, man.
Walmart has more money?
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
sure do. Walmart's very wealthy.
I think they're about the wealthiest family in the world.
Let them people got a job so they can work and pay their bills and stuff.
Well, that's
ain't nobody gonna give them a dime.
Yes, sir. But I want to make it clear that we are not calling for a boycott of Walmart.
No, not at all.
The group that what they're trying to do is just get a better deal for the employees. You're talking about making a living, being able to pay your bills. We just want to get a better deal for the employees.
Can I say something? They got
Sure.
if they got a job, all they got to do work and save the money.
Well, they could make more money.
Save this money, man.
Well, they can't. That's the problem, though, James. They can't save any money on what they're making. The average salary at
Can I tell you something else?
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you. When I was coming up, I used to work at 40 cents an hour, chop cotton, 10 hours a day, 40 cents an hour. And we made it off of that. So, hey, all you got to do is got to know how you utilize your money. That's all you got to do.
Okay, James, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
So, James chopped cotton for 40 cents an hour, and I believe the man.
I believe him, too.
But I also believe that the Walmart workers cannot make a living the way they are. You see, James, they're not getting a 40-hour work week. If you take what their salary and multiply it by 40, it sounds like they're making enough to live on, but they're not getting 40. You were going to say, Bonnie, what their average salary is?
$8.81 an hour.
But on the annual basis. It's less than $25,000.
Oh, way less than $25,000 a year.
Yeah,
way less.
It's way less than $25,000. On line 4, let's see what Crenshaw has to say. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yes, good morning. For the first-time listeners, can you explain exactly what the issues that they have? I mean, you've hit in this just now. You talked about the 28-hour work week. I think that sometimes many of the people that have been oppressed, just like this gentleman that talked about, 40 cents an hour, and they've been brainwashed to accept whatever's out there and to be thankful and blessed that they have a job. And so they just need to be a little bit better enlightened. Can we talk about that for a few minutes, and then I'll call back, because I'd like to jump in the debate, but I want to know a little bit more about what y'all are doing.
Yes,
I'm a first-time listener to this show.
Cool. All right. Thanks.
Well, thanks so much, Crenshaw. Bonnie, you want to talk about wages and making a living?
Our Walmart is Organization United for Respect at Walmart. They have a website. It's called forrespect.org. The average wage of a Walmart worker is $8.81 per hour. It doesn't matter whether you've been there 8 months or 8 years. Top salary at Walmart, no matter how long you've worked there, is about $15 an hour. Very few people are full-time. And as
it's like maybe 2 in a whole store.
Yeah, 2 in a whole store.
Or maybe even just 1.
Yeah, everybody else is a part-time worker. They work a lot of split shifts where they come in the morning, then they may let them go for a few hours, and then they have to come back. As you know, if you're a single mom or a parent, that's going to make it very difficult for you to be able to have any kind of daycare. So then, of course, you have to remember you have to pay for that daycare. So you're working 20 hours a week, 25 maybe, at $8.81 an hour. You have no benefits.
And the worst of it is that you don't know when you're coming in and when you don't.
Yeah, you don't know. They can call you.
Because they can tell you, I don't like the way you looked at me this morning, so next week you're not going to get more than 10 hours.
That's right.
Or I don't like a bumper sticker on your car. This has actually happened.
Yeah.
I don't like a bumper sticker on your car, you're fired.
Yep.
We have to take a break. We'll be right back. Saturday morning is what we really like. This is the Workers Beat. I'm Gene Lantz.
I like it.
And I'm here with
Bonnie Mathias.
Someone who's
I'm
not
so
paying attention.
sorry. I was just seeing, Senator Bernie Sanders out of Vermont.
He's got a very, very good program to raise the amount of Social Security.
Yeah.
That's a cool deal.
And raise the minimum wage, and he's really smart.
So we're not just fighting nowadays as 2014 comes. We're not just fighting to save what we used to have.
Right.
We are acknowledging the fact that we need a whole lot more.
That's right.
Because inflation done eat it up. If the minimum wage had kept up with productivity, as we announced last week, it would be over $18 an hour.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be fighting for, $7.25?
Yeah.
We'd be making over $18 an hour. If our productivity, the amount of stuff that we are making was coming back to us, then we'll be making over $18 an hour at the minimum wage.
At the minimum wage. That's
so we were
right.
talking about the good things that are happening in 2014. Here's one of them. The Coca-Cola workers at Fort Worth will vote the Teamsters in. They almost did in 2013. They only missed it by a few votes.
Just a few
handful of votes. They will vote the Teamsters in 2014. Walmart will seek an accommodation with its workers through Our Walmart. And workers at the new Motorola phone company in Fort Worth will form their own internal organizing committee and demand union representation. That's the way it was in the heyday of the CIO. The organizers couldn't even keep up with people who were organizing themselves.
Organize, right.
I actually heard an organizer tell the story that he answered the phone one time at United Auto Workers headquarters, and this was a woman. She said, "We're in such and such a drugstore in such a town, so we've already taken over the drugstore. We're sitting in, and now how do we form the union?"
What do we do now?
Yeah, so they had already done it, and
that's pretty cool.
Because I don't recommend people do that.
No, not.
If you're going to organize a union, get yourself a professional organizer. Keep yourself out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because there's so many legal stuff that you have to go through now.
Yeah.
So get a professional organizer before you start your organizing drive.
And
if you possibly can.
UFCW has helped Walmart. In their drive to have better wages and respect on the job. They're not asking for the world.
Right.
They're really not.
Another prediction for 2014 is public workers. Now I'm talking about school teachers, city workers, trash haulers,
the
state
folks
workers.
that make the world go round.
All of them were kicked around so severely by the House of Representatives in 2013 that they are going to be just demanding union representation. They're going to be coming in and forming unions and associations right and left. And outside, not just unions are going to be getting organized. Other people are going to be organized too. We're going to see more organizations for young workers, more for seniors, women, immigrants, LGBT community, and everybody who saw their rights trampled and threatened in 2013. In 2014, they're going to have the epiphany. They're going to see the light on the road to Damascus, and they're going to start demanding organization and get organized. You don't have to agree with me. You can call us 972-647-1893. Bonnie, am I far off yet?
No, I don't think so. Gene, I read an article here not too long ago, and there was a map of the United States that showed the top paid public employee in each state.
Top paid public employee.
Yeah.
And it was the governor, I guess.
Nope. Football coaches.
Football coaches.
Football coaches in the South. Hockey coaches in the North. Baseball coaches. Yep. That's what it was. Basketball coaches. Yep. Not
those
the governor.
Are just the ones that survived, though. I mean, that doesn't account for a lot of coaches that didn't get those big paying jobs.
But that's the top paid person in all these states is a coach. Shouldn't it be a teacher?
Not the person that's administering your dialysis treatment or something like that. 2014, we will see all kinds of organizing, and this is going to lead to political victories of all kinds.
Yes, I believe that.
I'll get to that after we talk with Kathy. Kathy called line 1. Good morning, Kathy. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yes, good morning. I just wanted to call in. You all were making a point about organizing, and the point that you made just brought something to mind for me. Remember when President Obama was running for president the first time, and they just tried, the opposition tried so hard to make organizing seem like an awful word. And it occurred to me, wow, that's the reason why. They don't want folks to know that they should and can have professional organization so that they can stand up against these forces that try to keep them from getting what is rightfully theirs.
Do you believe that's kind of the essence of the whole argument, Kathy?
I believe it is. I mean, before I was like, what could they possibly have against organizing? And as soon as Eugene made that point, I thought to myself, That's why. I mean, it was a light bulb moment for me, and that explains it so clearly only because we know that and you hate to sound conspiratorial, you hate to sound as if you are, dreaming these things up, but there could not be a clear, more logical explanation for them vilifying a very pretty benign word, if you will, and a term because this was what it represented for them, that somebody was out there trying to help people who were underinformed and uninformed to be informed about what they could do and what they could accomplish in life.
They try to keep us ignorant, and they try to keep us divided.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to explain the attacks against women, and the way that they have tried to line up the men against the women, because otherwise they wouldn't care. If women were making the same amount of money as men are at the same job, then the bosses would not be getting that difference.
Oh, and don't you love it? I used to work for a company, this was in Ohio, but I used to work for a company where it was grounds for, it wasn't union, but it was grounds for termination to discuss their salary.
Yes.
And I thought, and I wondered about that. Well, of course, because they knew they weren't paying equitably.
That's right.
And that if they found out, if the employees found out, then something else would have to occur at the corporate level, and they were not going to have it, and that's why they had that policy in place.
Exactly.
So a lot of them have that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The whole point is to keep us divided and keep us from getting organized. I think that's very insightful, Kathy.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, you all keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You want to comment on that, or can we go on to this next call?
No, I love it. That's great. Let's go on to the next call.
I can't read it. Barbara. Good morning, Barbara. Thanks for calling Knon.
Good morning, Miss Bonnie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's Bob right here in Pleasant Grove.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I want to hear the man, whoever his name was, he was talking about Super Walmart. I do know for a fact everybody needs their job, but they don't fit nobody working you like a dog. And then you get hurt on these jobs, they don't want to pay you what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you for a fact, my grandson used to work on that. And see what they'll do? You expect that with the blacks and the Mexicans to start doing the big truck, pulling stuff out the truck. Then when they get sick, then they don't want to pay them. They want to lay my grandson off.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. I've heard a number of people say that Walmart said if you ain't here, you ain't got a job.
That's right.
No matter how sick you are, no matter how sick your baby might be.
And I tell you another thing, Miss Connie, also. But first of all, I give honor to God. And what they do, I've seen it for a fact. They work the people so that they be so tired, and then they don't give them enough money. You know what? But I tell you another thing. Don't get me wrong, Miss Bonnie. I love white people, but I tell you what they'll do. They'll sit up there and get the white folks, the good jobs on the inside, and put the black out there.
That's the way of keeping us divided.
That's right. That's how they keep us apart.
Right and wrong is wrong. I am going to sit. I'm starting with Seth West. No, I'm starting Miss Johnson first. I'm a girl Senator West. And God knows I might be sitting up on the White House, in the White House, because there's a lot of stuff going around.
Yes, ma'am.
And people need their job, and not only Super Walmart, Parks and Hospital, give me like a dog. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing but, I was 21 years old, and I'm 64 now, and I'm still suffering, because the doctor told me, he said, Miss Grimes, he said, you gonna suffer. The older you get, the worse it is, and that's what I do. And I'm still down in my back. But I wouldn't change it for another word. Because what it was an old man, Miss Bonnie. And I put him in the car. I was a nervous assistant. And that old man was falling. But I caught him. And when I caught him, something pulled something out in my back. But God been good to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no claim, but these jobs need to understand. We need money, but don't work us like a dog, but don't pay us like we should do. And don't let us go all because the doctor said about, they told me go back, okay? And tell them to do the work. But they had no good work. They had like do the work. I could have did it anyway.
All right, we appreciate it, Miss Barbara.
Thank you, Miss Barbara. Good to hear from you.
If you want to know what's what in Pleasant Grove, you can call Miss Barbara.
That's right, Miss Barbara knows.
She goes right to it.
That's right. She knows about the Grove.
She knows the essence of the problem. Miss Crenshaw was going to call back, and she was going to give us her point of view. I guess we'll have that sooner or later. 972-647-1893. In general, we're on the Workers Beat program. In general, we're for workers getting a decent wages and decent treatment dignity on the job. Usually that means organizing a union, but not always.
Not always.
But we stand up for working people's rights.
Yep.
That's what makes this show kind of peculiar, kind of eccentric, kind of different. There are very few programs that are not standing up for the rights of the corporations.
That's right.
Because let's face it, the corporations are
They own the
signing their
media.
checks. I was going to say that in 2014, the new solidarity in labor will lead us toward success in elections. And I'm not just talking about the November elections. I'm also talking about the ones that are coming up, the local elections in the city. 2014 is already being well known as the year of the women. I'm so pleased that the last two callers were women.
Absolutely.
Because it shows that women have got their own ideas and they are planning to take a hand in 2014. The Democrats will come together on a program highlighted by the rights of women and children. And that includes education, which is the main budget item for a state during 2014. Even though national Republican leaders will come to Texas to plead for moderation in the primaries. Because that's what they all agree that's what they need is a
moderation.
Big tent. So they will come to Texas in the primaries. Major leaders of the Republican Party from the nation will come to Texas and talk to Texas candidates about let's please have some moderation so we can have a big tent and have a better chance to get a better vote. But it won't work.
The
dynamic of these primaries is that they go further and further to the right. And so you find the candidates vying with each other for who can be the craziest, who can be the most fanatic during the primaries.
It's
and
crazy.
That process will continue in 2014, according to my team of scientists. Let's see what Francis. Listen, another woman.
All
Francis is calling. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Well, I want to give a comment by this lady. I don't know what she said about the hospital. I just moved to Fort Worth about 2 months ago, maybe three. Say about 3. And I had a medical problem, and I had to leave for my job. And the supervisor called me on the job. I didn't call me when I got back home, and that's why I left. And I told her it was something very personal. You know, she said, "Okay, well, I'll see you back the next day." And next thing you know, she called me 2 days later and say that I don't have no job. And now I'm trying to file for my unemployment. She told HR I walked off the job, but then she told the unemployment people that I missed work. That's why I got terminated. I never missed work. I've been working over 37 years, and I never missed jobs.
You know, I've noticed that companies fire you and then make up the reason.
She did, and I have the paper stating that, you know, they came to my house and gave me a certified letter to sign to say that they get the letter, and the letter said I walked off the job, and that wasn't so. And now she told the unemployment people that, nah, I got fired because I didn't come to work. I love to work, but I've been working a long time, and I'm a cook.
Sure.
And I just moved to Fort Worth, and I don't know too many places around here, but I'm looking for work. You know what I'm saying?
Lots of people are.
Yeah, and I don't know why they do this to people. I really don't. You got to lie like that. There's nothing going to be coming of it. I said, because what you do to people, and you dig a pit for me, you better really make sure you dig one for you, because you're going to be the first one to fall in.
I'll tell you one reason they might have fired you, and that is to try to keep you from drawing unemployment.
But, Francis, you can fight that.
If they can get something on you and fire you, then you don't qualify for unemployment. But if they're just laying you off, you qualify for unemployment.
You may still qualify for unemployment. You need to go ahead and appeal that decision. If they are good. And when you need to see if you can get a friend to sit with you when you have your appeal hearing on the phone. You have somebody there with you so that you have a witness, okay? Because trust me, they got more than one person in the room.
Yeah, they have lawyers on their side.
Yeah, I understand they do too, but they got to realize you told unemployment one lie, and you gave me a paper saying I walked off the job. So now you told unemployment that I missed work because I didn't show up. That I did a lot of call-in. So you lied on yourself. So I got all my papers and say that, you know, that the day she fired me, I wasn't even at work. I was off.
Yeah, you go ahead and appeal that. You may come out on top. I've had some pretty good luck.
We're going to see a lot of fighting women in 2014.
That's right.
Thanks so much for calling, Francis.
Thanks for calling, Francis. God bless you.
Move on to Ms. Crenshaw, who called earlier. Is going to comment, I think, on the wages situation.
Yes.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Well, basically, I wanted you guys to try to help the elderly gentleman who felt that, if you have a job, just be appreciative of it and take whatever you can get. But I do want to thank the unions and CWA for their efforts to organize and to right some of the wrongs. A lot of people don't know that 2014 is going to be the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, in which many of the poor and downtrodden were able to get some equity in our government.
That's right.
One of the things that the unions do during campaigns is that there's lots of money spent trying to get the vote out. And the unions say to the politicians, I want you to get your printing done at a printer that has a union bug.
Yeah. Well, we only got about 30 seconds, so you wind it up.
Oh, okay. Well, then I just wanted to ask you, what about the small businesses that don't have employees, the mom and pop businesses? How do we help them, and what can the union do to help the small businesses?
Good point. We'll be right back after this break. Yeah, we're back on KNON.
Yes.
And 972-647-1893 is the number. As we were taking a break, Bonnie,
yes,
the lady was talking about small businesses and how small businesses are going to fare in 2014. What can be done to help them?
Well,
I was remembering the guy who called last week.
Right, and I think everybody should, they have the thing Small Business Saturday where everybody's supposed to shop at a small business. We all need to be more cognizant of where we buy things. Try to shop local, if you will. Go to a locally owned store in your neighborhood, and I don't mean a convenience store.
Buy local.
Buy local,
especially on food. There's a big movement now to get local food.
Right, and
try to get local farmers.
There's several grocery stores chains that actually do buy local produce.
And we're fortunate to have a farmers market here.
What's left of it?
Yeah, we have one.
We do.
I go down there quite a lot.
Yeah. I think it's...
And we had a small businessman call last week. He owns a restaurant. He was talking about how he pays decent wages and manages to keep things going. Small business is not the enemy, not by any means. The enemy is these giant corporations, especially the transnational corporations, the ones like Walmart that are making money all over the world and introducing terrible employment policies all over the world.
It's the Walmart model is what it is.
The big transnational companies, the ones that want these so-called free trade bills and all that to benefit themselves, those are the ones that are hurting us. And they're the ones that are sitting on trillions of dollars right now and not reinvesting it. Unfortunately, my team of scientists does not predict that the economy is going to get a lot better in 2014. It's still going to be bad. It will always be bad until there's reinvestment. As long as they're just taking the money out and sitting on it, we're going to see a recession-like qualities for ordinary working people. The essence of the problem is that they did not reinvest all the money that they took out of the economy. They're just sitting on trillions of dollars, not reinvesting it. So 2014 will not get a lot better. However, this is not going to cause the voters to get scared and vote for something old. They already know what something old is going to bring them, and so they're going to be voting for candidates that are in favor of jobs bills, serious jobs bills, building new dams, fixing the roads, and that sort of thing, fixing the bridges. That's the kind of thing that's going to motivate voters in 2014.
I believe so.
I already said it's going to be the year of the women, and I want to point to one special woman that I think is the personification of what all women should be aspiring to in the state of Texas, and that's Becky Moeller, president of the Texas AFL-CIO, is an absolute model, not just for women but for men too, as to someone who's seriously out to win, seriously knows what it takes to win, smart, capable, and courageous, and willing to do the dirty work.
Yep.
She's willing to get out on the street with the rest of us. I've been out knocking on doors with her.
Have you?
Have you had that experience? She and I went around
Dallas
western part of Fort Worth one time.
Oh, okay.
Knocking on doors. She doesn't ask people to do what she won't do.
That's right.
And
that's right. That's the mark of a true leader. I believe that.
Somebody like Becky Moeller is, and people should study Becky Moeller. People should find out about Becky Moeller, get a picture of her, and put it on your mantle or carry one on your billfold or something, because she's a real inspiration.
Yes,
in 2014, the year of the women, and she will lead great success, especially for women candidates who are, I think they're looking to Becky Moeller, and I think they're going to be like her. I think Linda Chavez Thompson in San Antonio is going to be a big influence on elections this year because she herself personifies so much. Of so much courage and ability for women. And I think that the labor movement is going to coalesce around those issues. Labor has always been for equal rights for women. Now, labor may not have that good a reputation on everything else, but for equal rights for women, labor has a very, very good reputation.
Absolutely.
And since 1995, they've had a good reputation on everything. It's going to be much, much better in that regard. The vagaries of the economy will not cause fearful voters to cling to the old ideas, but rather to turn the tide favoring new solutions. And with the women in the lead and the labor movement doing what it's really capable of in 2014, we're going to see working people win great victories in the electoral arena in 2014.
Well, you know Jorge and Margarita Alvarez.
Yes.
Well, Jorge told Margarita and I that if we ran the world, everything would be fine.
Yeah, if women ran the world, it would certainly be a more decent place for the children.
Me and Margarita, man, we'd have all this stuff down.
Mm-hmm. Well, children probably not probably, but absolutely are the most oppressed group in America, and they probably will never be able to get organized as children, but the women will protect them. So if we have more women in politics, we're going to have a better deal for our children and a great future for generations to come. Randy is calling on line 1. Can we put him on? Thanks for calling KNON, Randy. What's up?
I'm laughing right now, but I better stop.
Hey.
You honestly think that the world's going to be a lot better once women all are in charge in every political office? Police department.
I didn't say that.
We think that. I think
sorry.
that. We'll be better off with women in office.
India's got a woman leading India now, and they still got horrible things going on over there. England has had a woman leading them several times, and they pretty oppressive to their people as far as taxes. I don't know what's going on in Germany, but they're sure complaining there a lot. So I think
Una Merkel just got reelected, didn't she?
She sure did.
Okay.
But, I think it's a lot depends on the person more than the gender. Whether you're for a person that intends to do good by the people, or you're a person that intends to do bad by the people.
And there are some horrible women in politics in America. There's no doubt about that.
Me and them women, you're right. But my question is, just like my question was last week, do you still have your money in the bank account? Have you stopped giving, have you followed the example I'm trying to put out there? Just have a bank account, cash your check, and take your money out. Or are you guys still supporting the banking industry by giving them your money? Like that commercial that used to be on where if you buy a joint for a couple of dollars, they track that dollar all the way back to a bullet that killed some school teacher in Brazil or whatever. But your money, Gene, that you keep in the bank is still oppressing the people that can't get along, like Robert Petrie.
The one that was just on the radio a while ago.
So are you so I'm asking, are you breaking the cycle? Are you just saying no to Walmart, and are you taking your money out of the bank and not supporting them?
Well,
or are we just
putting it in the mattress?
My money's in a credit union, so I don't know. I have a bank account that I use as a clearinghouse for my paycheck.
Does your credit union loan you may be in the right place, Bonnie. Does your credit union loan to local businesses?
Yes, it belongs to the members, us. The people that deposit our money there own that credit union.
So your credit union is not hoarding a check that the government sent them, or their people's money.
No.
Well, then maybe some of the listeners need to do that. Get in a credit union.
That's
if
Yeah,
you're in
but
a
are you
credit
just
union-
saying that everybody should go to a cash basis, or just
See, what I'm saying is, just like
keep
you
their money in
guys
a
said,
bucket or
maybe-
something?
No, well, you can keep it wherever you want to. I carry mine in my pocket. But you're saying exactly if we hit them in the pocketbook, that's where they have no morality. Corporate America is not supposed to have morality.
No, they don't.
Think about and us expecting them to is us just being crazy in our own mind.
I see.
So if you hit them, just like you and Bonnie and a lot of intelligent people have said, or caring people, intelligence is relative, caring people have said, don't support it. Don't give them the money. Hit them in the pocketbook. So please, people out there, don't support the banking industry. Cash your check. Get your money out.
Put it in your
wherever
pocket.
you want to. Or get in a credit union like Bonnie.
There you go.
Stop shopping at Walmart.
No, we're not calling for a boycott of Walmart. We've been around on this before, Randy.
I'm not calling for a boycott because I know there's a legal issue. If a person, I know there's a legal issue now because corporate America owns all of us, or we allow that to happen. That you can't call for a boycott because then you're legally up against the lawsuit.
No, you can call for a boycott.
You can call for a boycott. It's not a legal matter.
It's a tactical matter.
Why have we seen that work in the past on companies, and we never do that, Gene? I've never in my life.
Let's back up just a minute on that, Randy. Actually, they were prior to about 4 years ago. For about 10 years, they were calling for a boycott of Walmart, and it was a very poor strategy. I supported it and worked for it, and we did pickets out in front of Walmart asking people not to shop there. But I always thought it was a lousy strategy. I still think it's a lousy strategy, and our strategy now is to try to organize the workers, and you cannot tell the workers, we want you to organize, and at the same time, we're trying to take your jobs away from you. Remember the guy who called at the first of the program who said, be glad you got a job. Well, we are glad that people have a job. We're not trying to take the jobs away from the people who work at Walmart. We're just trying to get a better deal for them. Go ahead, Randy.
I understand the way you're going, which is good. But we all know that they have no morality. We've already established that. We can preach all day about how they should be paying a certain minimum wage and how they should give everybody 40 hours. Because if we were the boss, that's what we would do. But we know that angle is not going to get them to do the right thing because we've already got union people that have worked for 30 and 40 years with a promise of a pension, not getting their full pension and agreement contract that they agreed to. And I don't know how a corporation can back out of a contract and not fulfill it.
Oh, they can file bankruptcy. That's how they do that.
That's how they're doing it nowadays.
Yeah, that's how they do it nowadays. They just file bankruptcy and negate the union contracts.
So what I'm saying is the angle that you guys are going, how is that going to decrease their cash flow? Because that's all they care about. They only care when their cash flow goes down. When a person's cash flow goes down, then they start listening to the other people that are trying to speak morality to them. Not because the morality, because of cash flow.
Let me see if I understand you, Randy. No, don't hang up yet.
Okay.
Let me see if I understand you. I think what you're saying is that our policy should be revolutionary or nothing. In other words, if what we're doing is not going to, for example, stop corporate America in its tracks, then it's not a good tactic. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir. No. Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not insinuating that at all.
Okay.
What you guys are doing is great. What you guys are doing is trying to bring a soul to the corporation of Walmart. That is obviously soulless. So what I'm trying to figure out is where a boycott affects their bottom line, which is all that the 6 people at family Walmart care about, obviously, is how is what you guys are suggesting that we do, which is a good thing. It would be great if they were unionized and they were making a certain amount of money like Kroger and some other grocery chain. But how do we affect their bottom line through that strategy
Well, we're not trying
They
to
still
destroy them.
come to the table.
Yeah.
We're not. Let me tell you, Randy. Walmart is already hurting. Okay, for the last 3 quarters, they have seen a decrease in profits because of the way that they have treated their workers. They have part-time workers that are working so many. They're only allowed to work so many hours. So the shelves aren't stocked. Believe me, I go to Walmart once every 2 weeks for my mother-in-law, and I wear my Our Walmart shirt and my forrespect.org button proudly when I go in that store. And I get followed, but I get to talk to people.
Okay, now y'all wind it up because we got somebody waiting.
So, to me, it's hurting them already. They can't keep the store shelves stocked because all the merchandise is in the back. The people are worked so little they can't do the jobs while they're there. Then they get screamed at if they don't do something right. It's a vicious, horrible circle.
Okay,
So they're not keeping their shelf stocked, and people are not buying the product.
That's right, which has already hurt their profit. The last 3 quarters, the profits have been down.
Okay. That's why I was trying to find out how your angle was affecting their bottom line. Great.
We got to move on.
Okay.
Joshua's been waiting. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, I apologize. I've been in and out of the kitchen, haven't been able to follow the flow of the conversation, but I did hear Gene making some predictions that his scientific advisors had provided him with for 2014, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my scientific team.
Right, and I guess I'm not sure if I heard you make this one, but I guess a hope of mine, I'm not sure if I'd call it a prediction yet, but is that workers in the United States would start to recognize workers from other countries, sometimes people who are called illegal immigrants, as
I did predict that. I predicted that immigrants would get better organized in 2014.
Hey, I think that's great, and I think a big part of it, too, is not only their organization, but sort of a recognition, too, by workers already in the United States that, look, these are fellow folks who I think we can work with and try to help along.
Good point.
Not particularly because we're good-hearted, but because it's the only thing that's going to work.
Yeah.
Workers have to get together, whether they're documented, whether they're short, whether they're tall, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're green, or whatever language they speak.
That's right.
Working people are going to have to get together. Let's don't hang up, Joshua, but I want to get this point in. This is the 28th of December. It is the day that America has put its heel in the face of 1.3 million long-term unemployed people that are absolutely desperate. All they have is their unemployment check, and they're taking it away from them today. If that's not enough to inspire you to get organized, then I don't know what it's going to take, because America, you have been spit in the face. Working people of America, they are spitting in your face. They are putting your foot on your neck and saying you don't deserve to live.
Well, and as some of the Republican congressmen have been fond of saying, if you cut off their benefits, then they'll go out and find a job.
Yeah, like there was a job for them to find.
Yeah, like they hadn't been looking for a job.
Well, go ahead, Joshua, with your final comments, because we're running out of time.
So I love the show this morning, and great to hear from so many callers, too. It was, as much as we love hearing y'all, it was nice to hear a lot of folks kicking their ideas in, too.
Thank you,
Agree or
Joshua.
disagree that women are going to lead a great victory in the electoral arena?
I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's hoping for it. Well, my team of scientists says it's going to happen.
We are there, Joshua.
Great, fantastic.
Thanks,
Have a good
dear.
morning, y'all.
You too.
Thanks so much, and thanks to everybody who called.
Yeah, this was a great day. Great day. Thank you.
It just shows that the Workers' Beat's a pretty good program, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because people have gotten a chance to get their views out.
Yep.
Working people have their views, and they're very, very, very important.
Yep.
We're very sorry that the rest of the media ignores working people.
And just so folks get kind of an idea, if you work 40 hours a week for $7.25 an hour, you're going to make $15,000 for the year.
And so you're still in poverty.
You are still way, way in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
So the minimum wage really stinks.
So let's get together and do something.
Yeah, let's pass it.
We appreciate KNON for letting us talk about workers' justice, and we appreciate you for listening. See you next week.
See you next week.
89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.